Good evening, race fans, and thank you for joining us tonight for the Bob Motorsports 110 at Phoenix International Raceway here in Avondale, Arizona. We want to thank you for joining our race tonight, and leading off the race from the pole will be Mark Schaefer. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Mark.
Driver of the number 80 5-star adjusting Chevrolet from Peoria, Arizona, Mark Schaefer.
Number 78, Nairmore Machine Shop, Andy Lashinsky from Phoenix, Arizona.
Wayne Willard, car number 01 from Buford, Georgia, sponsored by Wrecker the Dog.
Jason Hogan, the number 1 pledge for the USA, Chevrolet Monte Carlo from Cleveland, Georgia.
98, Taylor Dorner from Canton, Georgia.
Number 62, BB&T Chevrolet, Brian Holman, Buford, Georgia.
02, Stephen Moore, sponsored by InsideSimRacing.tv from Thousand Oaks, California.
Number 60, Ron Miller, Denver, Colorado.
Robert Thompson, driving the 32 Fuzzy's Taco Shop, Monte Carlo from Burkmanette, Texas.
Bobby Cannon, driving the number 29 Monte Carlo, Netstream Communications, Brian Holman Design from Winder, Georgia.
Michael Taylor, number 48, driving the from Deltona, Florida.
It's 47, Nairmore Machine Shop, Bob Roberts out of Little Rock, Arkansas.
Number 12, Josh Weaver out of Durham, North Carolina.
53, Gary Moore, Manchester, New Hampshire, driving the Big Dogs Racing Chevrolet.
Steve Bryan from Bridgewater, Massachusetts, driving the number 18 Sirius XM Chevy.
Eddie Halsick from West Middlesex, Pennsylvania, driving the number 8 Goodrich Hose, Monte Carlo.
Number 92, Glenn Nettershall from Lake Ronkonkoma, New York.
Number 51, Donnie Gates from North Canton, Ohio.
Number 21, Corey Volkanot from East Mesa, Arizona, the Hoyt Archery Chevrolet.
And the green flag is out, and Mark Schaefer gets a really good jump off a turn off the start-finish line, followed closely by Andy Lashinsky, Wayne Willard, and Jason Hogan. Are we having sound difficulty tonight, gentlemen?
Ed Mahalsik hits the outside wall going middle of 3 and 4, gathers it back up, back running.
Really good battle back for the 5th spot between Brian Holman and Stephen Moore, a newcomer to Big Dogs. And Brian Holman is around. The caution is out. Looks like the 29 of Bobby Cannon's involved, along with the 62 of Brian Holman. As we go to the replay and take a look at what happened. Looks like Brian Holman goes into the corner, and the 1 gets into the back of Brian Holman just a little bit. The 1 of Jason Hogan. Was that a little bit of payback punch from a few weeks ago, the last time we saw Mr. Jason Hogan out on the track?
There was talk that payback would be given, but no timeline on when it was going to be given. Evidently, tonight was the night.
Well, it doesn't look like he tore him up. Looks like he just got him out of whack, and Brian will be able to roll it through the pits and get it going again. And these guys will get a good start here at Phoenix International Raceway. The baby blue walls, the extreme heat, rattlesnakes cleared off the track.
What I'm interested in is Brian Holman gonna keep the controversy going, and maybe we'll see another caution going here pretty soon when they catch up.
Well, let's hope not. Let's hope these guys get it out from under their belts, and they're feeling a little better about themselves. It looks like Jason Hogan didn't take on any damage from that. Mark Schaefer is still up there on the pole position. He'll be taking the green again from the pole. Followed by Andy Lashinsky, Wayne Willard, Jason Hogan, Taylor Dorner, Brian Holman, Stephen Moore. They're all up there in the front of the pack. This should be one heck of a race. We've got a lot of big, heavy hitters in here tonight.
It looks like we got 3 cars in the pits right now. Corey Valkonen, Donnie Gates, and Stephen Bryan in for service.
Hello, everybody. It seems as though we may have had some technical difficulty at the beginning of the show tonight, leading into tonight's race. We didn't have any sound, but I think we've got that fixed now. Special props to Phil Diaz, who works his butt off for Glacier TV in here running the cameras and sound tonight. Phil does an awesome job. I think he's got us up and rolling. If you guys missed the drivers' introductions, we'll try to cover that as good as we can. Who's driving what for you guys tonight, and so you guys don't lose track of who's where, and see if you got any of your local heroes out there on the track you're keeping an eye on and how they're doing. As the pace cars pulling these guys around the track, starting the field out, we've got the number 80 of Mark Schaefer, followed by the number 78 of Andy Lashinsky, who's followed by the 01 of Wayne Willard. Right behind him is the number 1 who was involved in that last caution of Jason Hogan. And in the 5th spot, we've got Taylor Dorner. Nick, you want to bring us through the rest of the field, please?
Yeah, in the 60s we got Ron Miller in the number 60 car, Stephen Moore in the 02, Robert Thompson in the 32, Bob Roberts in the number 47, and Gary Moore in the rounding out your 10th spot.
As the lights are off on the pace car.
In 11th spot we got Josh Weaver. In the 12th spot we have Ed Mihalsik. In the 13th spot we got Glenn Niedersheck.
Pace car's off. It looks like Mark Schaefer gets a really good jump off the start-finish line again. We saw him do that last time as well. You know, Mark's a strong starting guy. You've got to be on your toes to be able to keep up with him on these restarts. It looks like Andy Lashinsky's not going to let him get away too far, though. Andy's right on his tail. But what's the passing going to be like tonight? Are these guys going to be able to run 2 lines? The last couple races we've seen, it's been a 1-line show.
Turn 3 and 4 looks to be a 2-groove track there. You got some guys going low, you got some guys going high, and right here in 1 and 2 you got a few guys that are drifting up high, which creates some passing opportunities in 1 and 2. So looks like you might have some 2-groove racing here.
These guys have pretty much single filed out. You got to wonder if they're just going to try to lay some laps down tonight and save these cars. You know, we talked earlier, they've only got 1 reset tonight, so you crash that thing up 1 time, they're going to fix it for you in the pits. But after that, you're on your own. It's up to the timer and what your pit crew is capable of fixing.
You got a nice little battle door-to-door in turn 3 and 4 between Stephen Moore and Ron Miller. Stephen Dorn down low trying to get that low groove going, but don't look like he's going to be able to complete that pass as they go down the front stretch. Ron Miller still got that 5th spot.
Stephen Moore's not going to give up that easy. I think he's going to keep pushing that bottom line until he gets that thing to stick and he can get by Ron. But, you know, we've seen Ron Miller have some really good runs in the past in that number 60 car. Out of Denver, Colorado. Stephen Moore being the newcomer, you know, he may not know that Ron's a hard charger, and he might have a little difficulty getting by him. Ron was exceptionally fast at Bristol. We watched him close up from the back of the pack a couple times. Unfortunately, he had a bad race.
Comes around. Number 1 car, Jason Hogan, went around, got a little loose, got into the infield grass.
The caution isn't out. These guys are going to stay green. Jason Hogan will have to get that thing collected up and get himself back out there before he loses too much time.
Yeah, Jason Hogan's got to collect it up there in the dog leg of the backstretch, and he's back going again.
Doesn't look like he took on too much damage.
No, not at all.
So we
but
get
he's
back.
He's got a lot of ground to move, to make up. I guess I know for a fact he's wishing for a caution right about now.
We got another good battle going on. Back in the 16th position between Ed Mahalsick and Donnie Gates. They're back there with Mike Taylor, broadcast crew member. Oh, now the caution is out. Now the caution is out. Boy, Jason Hogan's lucky for that.
Well, working this second caution, we have Mark Schaefer running first in the number 80 car, 78, Andy Leszczynski, the 01 of Wayne Willard running third, Ron Miller running fourth in the number 60 car, and rounding out your top 5, we have Stephen Moore.
It seems as though the admins threw that caution, you guys. Apparently Jason Hogan had asked for it, and it took him a second to type it in. The way iRacing works, you know, you can bring out a caution if necessary on the track, and sometimes the game doesn't kick it off if you're off the track, but you need one. And the way these guys at Big Dogs do it, you know, if they need a caution, they can ask for one if they're wrecked and save themselves from going several laps down or gathering up cars, you know, that are coming around into them. It looks like the 80 of Mark Schaefer is going to hit pit road, followed by several other cars.
Yeah, it looks like Stephen Bryan and Glenn Newshill.
Ed Mahalsick. Several guys are going to stay out on the track.
Watch to see what kind of pit service gets done with these guys here at the pits.
That's gonna move Robert Thompson up into the first position in that fuzzy taco ride. Robert's a strong runner, you know. He's a hard guy to beat, and you get him up in the front, and good luck. He might wave goodbye.
It looks like a lot of these front runners are taking 4 tires and gas, so these guys, some of the guys taking 2 tires are gone.
Let's point out tonight, you know, these guys are starting this race with 6 gallons of fuel. So if they didn't pit on the first pit stop, you know, and some of them are pulling off now. I don't know exactly what their logic was for staying out other than just to avoid the chaos of pit road with a massive amount of cars. But these guys aren't starting with a full fuel load tonight. They started out with 6 gallons. On their first pit stop and every pit stop after, they can go up to 7.8 gallons. I believe that'll put them right around 40 or 45 laps before they need to pit for fuel. But what's the tire wear going to be for tonight? That's always a question when we're racing iRacing, and these guys are running a fixed setup. You know, their steering wheel settings vary, so their tires differ. Are tires going to come into a play right now for these guys up front?
I think that's probably the main reason why some of these guys up front took tires, just to see what kind of tire wear they've got after a few laps being turned here.
Looks like the number 29 was the lucky dog. That would explain why he went in and pitted. He's already starting in the back of the field. You might as well go in and get 4 Dr. Feelgoods and fill it up with gas, because that'll give you an opportunity to come up through the field a little better.
Yeah, even though these guys only started with 6 gallons of fuel, they're able to the tank capacity for tonight's 7.8 gallons. So they can top it off and go a little bit further on fuel if they wanted to.
And how does that affect the car as far as adding fuel to it? You would think that'd loosen it up a little bit and help them get around these corners a little better.
It just might do that. Some of these guys that like a looser setup might loosen it up by topping off the fuel load a little bit more. That way they can get through these corners a little bit better.
As we see the field double up, they're getting all lined up here. The pace car should be pulling off, and it'll be Robert Thompson taking him to the green, followed on the outside by Gary Moore, the league admin for tonight. Behind him is hometown boy Corey Valkenot. Corey's a Phoenix native, and you know, these guys, it's going to be a tough crowd tonight. Everybody's good at this track. I didn't see any weak links in practice, so I think track position is going to be the biggest key at everything.
The number 1 car of Jason Hogan's several laps down now.
And they take the green. Robert Thompson and Gary Moore get good jumps. Robert Thompson pulls out to about a half a car length lead right out of the gate, and that fresh air is important, you know. As we look on a little bit back in the field, we got Gary Moore already being challenged by the 21 of Corey Valkenot.
You got a nice little four-way battle between Mark Schaefer and Brian Holman smacks the outside wall there. Got Wayne Willard mixing it up.
Mike Taylor gets a little piece of the outside wall and just about loses it, but he saves it, and he's getting it going again. You know, and then there's old Ron Miller in the 60 car there. He's creeping around behind this front pack, and they're racing pretty hard behind him, so this front pack should be able to pull away a little bit.
Oh, we got a wreck. 01 got...
Wayne Willard and Brian
We
Holman.
definitely had a little bit of payback there.
Oh, the 01 of Wayne Willard, he's taking a beating on that one. Bobby Cannon just picks him up and heaves him into row 2. He says, go up there, beer's on sale, bring me back one with you. Wayne Willard's car is beat up. Looks like the 29 will be the lucky dog again this time as we go back and look at the replay.
Let's hope the 01's all right after that wreck. He took a pretty hard look there into the wall.
It's hard to tell exactly what happened to him. You can see Brian Holman into his back bumper, and there's Bobby Cannon just picking him up and wheelbarrowing him out into the stands to get him a fresh beer. You know, Wayne Willard, he's pretty beat up here. It's early in the race, lap 20. You know, these guys got 90 laps to go, 90 miles. We've still got 17 of the 19 starting cars on the lead lap. Bobby Cannon's currently scored 1 lap down. Jason Hogan scored 7. You got to look around through the field. Is Jason Hogan still on the track?
Wayne Willard's engine just let go in the backstretch.
Ooh, and that'll take him time to go in and get a reset. As we see most of the field pit, the guys that didn't pit last time are coming in now, all except for Ed Mahalsick in the number 8. He stayed out, and the 18 of Steve Bryan.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to make it back around to pit road there. He's going to probably end up having to get the wrecker out.
Well, that's never a good sign, but, you know, there's a lot of race left. There's a lot of time. You know, if Wayne plays his cards right and he uses his pit strategies right, you know, he may be able to get a couple more laps back. We'll see how far he goes down, though, from this. That'll put Gary Moore into the lead position.
Looks like the 12 car of Josh Weaver is the first to come off of pit road there in the Menards car, followed by Corey Valkenot and Mike Taylor.
Up in the front of the pack, we've got Gary Moore, followed by Taylor Dorner, a relative newcomer to Big Dogs Racing. He's only been in a few races, but he's a strong runner. And sitting there in thirds, old Ron Miller. We've talked about Ron and his Down Valley number 60 car from Denver, Colorado. He's been having some good races and coming on strong. He's had some bad luck. Maybe he can turn that around tonight.
Behind Ron Miller, you got number 78 of the Andy Lashinsky car. He's always right there up in the front every race, seems like. Let's see what he's got going on tonight. Then behind him, you got Bob Roberts rounding out your top 5 tonight.
Bob's another one that's real fast. You know, well, it's hard to say who's not fast. I mean, this whole entire Big Dogs crew's handpicked. You know, it's a privately owned league inside of iRacing. So all the drivers are handpicked or recommended by another driver, and they have to earn their way into this series. So it's a pretty tough field out there.
Yeah, these guys almost like running it like it's a qualifying lap every time. But they're doubling up, getting ready for the restart here.
Have you ever known these guys to race like it wasn't the last lap every lap?
Honestly, no, I have not.
Yep, both taking the green this time by. It looks like our points leaders, top three anyway, are having a pretty tough night tonight, except for maybe Mark Schaefer, who's running in sixth, but Brian Holman and Bobby Cannon, which is a lap down, and Brian Holman is at the tail end of the lead lap there. Let's see how this is going to shake out for the rest of the evening. It's really early yet.
Yeah, so much for Brian Holman's bonus points for having a clean race. It doesn't look like that's going to happen for him tonight.
Well, the pace car's pulled off, and we have green flag.
Gary Moore and Taylor Dorner drag race down the front stretch into turn one. It looks like Gary Moore's got a little bit of advantage. But we haven't really seen if that high side can really keep up with the bottom line yet tonight. We will find out. Looks like Taylor Dorner gets a really good run out of turn two going into three. He may be able to pull off a pass on Gary Moore.
Well, I think Moore got a little excited there, and Ron Miller got into the back of him and probably took him a little bit out of his game there on the restart as he's fading back possibly to third.
These guys, if you look back in the field, and Brian is in the wall. He's stuck to the wall. That looked painful. That's going to leave a mark, definitely.
Yeah, Stephen Bryan was having a little bit of connection issues, and I think Stephen Moore just, they found themselves together whenever he started blanking out there.
As we take a look at the replay, yeah, Steve Bryan's had some connection issues several times throughout these races, and if he's invisible, you know, and you run him over, it's not really your fault. As we kind of caught the tail end of that, looks like the 0-2 with Stephen Moore was also caught up in that. Let's see if he can get that thing fixed and get out there in his initial run here with Big Dogs.
Yeah, that front end's definitely pancaked in a little bit. Oh, and his engine just let go on the front stretch. Oh, man, I hope he don't go down like Wayne Willard has.
And
I'm really surprised he didn't take it down pit road.
That initial shot from Wayne Willard blowing his motor put him 4 laps down, and that's going to be really hard to make up with this crowd, guys. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody come from 4 laps down and win a race here at Big Dogs Racing.
Yeah, it looks like Bobby Cannon got his lucky dog waved by tonight.
Looks like Gary Moore's going to lead him down pit road. Gary Moore, Ron Miller, there's several of them coming down pit road. Brian Holman, our points leader, came into tonight's race with a 21-point lead that could be whittled away pretty good tonight.
Yeah, and you got Bobby Cannon sitting third, 40 points back. You got Gary Moore, who's got a really good run going for him tonight, sitting fourth. And then you got Matt Scott fifth in the points. And then you got Michael Hungerford, who was our big mover last week in the points, moving up 11 spots. And then sitting seventh, you got Ed Mahalsick. Sitting eighth, you got Josh Weaver. And sitting ninth, you got Donnie Gates, 127 points back. 56 points back, I'm sorry. And then you have, rounding up the top 10, you got Corey Valkinen sitting 57 points back out of the lead.
And that's our points rundown going into tonight's race, everybody. It looks like Wayne Willard may be putting it on the trailer. He's done for the night. He's going to go up in the stands and go sign some autographs and shake some hands. And I'm sure he's going to answer a lot of questions as to what happened to him tonight. But we all know, you know, once you blow your motor and go several laps down, it's almost impossible. Well, we're under caution. Let's give a special shout out to the guys over from Bob's Motorsports at www.bullseye.9f.com. Those guys specialize in those quarter-scale RC cars, and they also custom build simulator chairs. So for all you online racers out there looking for a custom-built sim chair, go visit Bob's website at bullseye.9f.com. Get a hold of Bob. Tell them what you're looking for, and they would gladly produce something to you and get it shipped out to you right there out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, Bob sells those customized quarter scale cars, you know, for the CUSAC organization and a lot of other places, and their chassis seem to be the preferred chassis within the quarter scale group.
Lights are off the pace car. They're getting ready to get one more time around this 1 mile racetrack till we hit green.
No, we currently still have 15 cars on the lead lap, followed by Steve Bryan in the 18, 2 laps down. Stephen Moore happened to go 2 laps down in that incident. And as we discussed earlier, Wayne Willard and Jason Hogan, they're together in the beer garden now. They both retired from the event, loaded up their cars on the trailers. So, you know, it's a rough night for Jason Hogan and Wayne Willard.
Stephen Moore is now pulling out of the pits. It looks like his crew did a really good job getting that car going back again. Hopefully he'll be able to keep it in the race in that 02 car.
Bill's coming around 3 and 4, fixing to take the green. You got Taylor Dorn going to be leading him to the green this time by.
And the pace car's off. As the green flag waves, it looks like Taylor Dorner gets a really good run. He's going to be able to pull up in front of Mark Schaefer. That 80 car of Mark Schaefer, he's on the hunt. He's looking low. You know, he's gonna try to make a race out of this. You know, we've seen Mark. He's been able to get through the field and break out by himself and have some pretty good runs. But is he going to be able to get around Taylor Dorner? That's the big question. Taylor's a solid driver. He's got that middle groove working for him tonight.
Yeah, the 48 of Taylor just rounding around the number 8 of Mahalchik, and as they go here into turn 1, now Mahalchik has the 32 car going underneath him. It's dropping like a rock. Did he take a pit stop there and get any tires?
I thought for sure he did. As we got a race for the lead, as Mark Schaefer pulls underneath of Taylor Dorner and takes the lead away from him, he gets him cleared coming out of turn 4.
But
Taylor
the
Dorner's
coming back.
Crossover. He tries the crossover move. Does it work? No, he's not going to get it. Mark Schaefer is just a little too quick on the throttle. We've got Andy Lashinsky now working on the back bumper of Taylor Dorner. Can he take that second spot from him?
We have a pretty decent medal of the number 6. Oh, there goes the number 8. He is slipping backwards fast. He's now gone back to about the 9th spot.
Ed Mahalchik, he's fallen back, and we've got a battle now for second position. The number 78 of Andy Lashinsky, he's trying to pull that pass off, but I don't know. It looks like Taylor Dorner's hanging on to that spot pretty good.
Yeah, right now you got Bob Roberts and Corey Volkanik going at it for fourth spot. They're door to door going down the front stretch with Mike Taylor closing in right behind him, hoping he can follow in the trails of Corey Volkanik going through that 1 and 2.
Looks like Bob Roberts gets a little loose, a little push going into the corner, and Corey Volkanot's able to pull off that pass, and it looks like Mike Taylor's going to move into that position and take it from him as well. Good run for Mike tonight so far, fellow broadcast booth member. Driving that number Armor All number 48 car. Looks like Robert Thompson's having a little technical difficulty. He may have been knocked out of the race as well. Hopefully he can get back in here before he goes too many laps down and lose a lot of points.
Well, it looks like the number 8 car of Ed Mahalchik has finally settled out now into the 10th spot. He's got a pretty comfortable sitting there as Josh Weaver's going to try to work on him.
Oh, we got a battle for the second spot. It looks like Andy Lashinsky's finally going to get underneath Taylor Dorner and take that spot away. And let's see if he can close up some ground on Mark Schaefer. You know, Mark Schaefer, he makes it look like these guys aren't all driving the same setup. He's got this uncanny ability to just pull away from the field, And these are some really solid drivers in here, and I don't know if we mentioned it yet, but these guys are all driving the same identical setup. The only thing they can choose is how many tires, what tires, and how much pit stop. They can't make any other adjustments to the car. What they start the race with is what they finish the race with.
Right now, crossing the green, crossing the checkered, Andy Lashinsky looks like he's cutting into that lead a little bit. He's down now to a 1.11 second advantage. Mark Schaefer is over Andy Lashinsky. Let's see what he does going by this next lap.
Looks like Brian Holman's now working himself into the top 10 in the number 62 car, getting himself around Ed Mahalchik.
Yeah, Brian's a strong runner. It'll just be a matter of time before he gets up there. He's going to work his way up behind Gary Moore and see if he can take that spot away, but it's going to take him a minute to get up there.
Andy Lashinsky's working into that the lead advantage of Mark Schaefer. That last lap, he went ahead and took off a 10th. Let's see what he does going by this time on the start-finish line.
Yeah, he's cut that distance over in half. He's down to about a 10-car length following behind Mark Schaefer. And let's see if he can reel him in. It looks like they've both moved up a half a groove coming out of the corners, and they're going in real low and then coming out real hard. So let's see if he can cut that lead down.
Yeah, I don't think Brian Holman has been moving up real fast because he's got quite a bit of front-end damage there as he goes by the 98 car. It looks like there's something might be wrong with the 98.
Yeah, the 98 of Taylor Dorner, he's been caught up in a little bit of that caution mess. Nothing that he caused himself, but, you know, that's racing. Sometimes you just can't get out of the situation. You got to make the best of it. Looks like the 98's going to pit. Wonder what's going on there.
I think he blew up.
His engine isn't running. He's going to roll. Oh, this is going to cost him big. That's going to put him back a long ways. As he rolls back, he's already a lap down. It's just a matter of time before he's 2, 3, 4 laps down. He might have to tow to his stop. I don't know if he can even roll that far. So we take a look at Mike Taylor, you know, moving up on the back of Corey Valkenot. He wants that position back Corey took from him earlier in the run. You know, will he be able to get it? I don't know. Corey's pretty strong. This is his hometown track. You know, let's not forget that. So he is a favorite here, especially a crowd favorite. You know, he's got some buddies at home watching and rooting for him, and he's got something to race for tonight. Corey Valkenot driving that Hoyt-sponsored number 21 car. He's putting some laps down, but this field's getting pretty spread out now, so it's hard telling. Looks like Andy Lashinsky's kind of fell off. He's not really running down Mark Schaefer anymore. He's just kind of hanging with him as best he can.
He's gotten into his lead. Mark Schaefer's advantage over Andy Lashinsky's 0.798 seconds over second place. So I do know one thing: two cars that are on the move right now is Gary Moore and Brian Holman. They're cutting through the field pretty good. They're sitting 8th and 9th, and they're coming upon some cars now. Donnie Gates. About a second, not even a second now advantage as they close the gap on them in 3 and 4 there.
Yeah, I think Gary Moore is waiting for Donnie Gates and Ron Miller to start racing it out so he can get himself into the thick of things.
It looks like Ron Miller in the 60 car, he's moved up to the back bumper of Bob Roberts. He wants that 5th position that Bob's holding right now, and Ron's a really good driver on old tires, so that's his strong point. Take a look at Ron. He's having himself a good race tonight, but he's followed closely by Donnie Gates. If he slips just a little bit, Donnie's going to pounce on him. Ron Miller from Denver, Colorado. One of the original Big Dog members is Ron. Good guy. For all of you guys that know him, he's better known as Ron Token Miller from
Whoa,
Denver.
Gary Moore and Brian Holman. Brian Holman gets the low line going through 3 and 4 there. They will get the advantage over Gary Moore coming out of onto the front stretch.
That'll move Brian Holman up into the 8th spot, so he is slowly climbing forward. He's just not making a lot of noise about it. And maybe that's the right way to do it.
Yeah, doing it that way there, you wait for the field to thin out and then pick them off one at a time is a little bit safer way of doing it than trying it right there at the drop of the green flag.
These guys are having a really good run right now. Everybody's nice and spread out and just sitting back and burning off some laps. We're all the way up to lap 50 already. 50 of 110, so these guys have completed 50 laps. As we look at Donnie Gates still working on the back bumper of Ron Miller. I don't know. I thought maybe Ron would be moving forward a little faster, but he's not making up any ground on Bob Roberts. Bob's looking in that mirror, and he said, "You're not going to catch me, buddy."
And it looks like Brian Holman might be working on the back bumper. He tries to get the advantage coming off the corner of turn 4 down front stretch, and he does. He makes a pass.
He pulls the pass off.
Looks like Donnie Gates might be getting a little loose there.
Looks like Brian Holman, he's pulling up on the back bumper of that number 60 car now, and he's going to challenge him to try to put himself up there for that challenge and for the 5th position. And he gets under him going into the corner. Can he pull off the pass? He gets a little bit loose. He gets a little too low and touches that apron, but he holds that bottom line, and he falls back into position behind Ron Miller. He's going to have to try that pass again, and he does. He looks low again, as well as Gary Moore trying to follow him through there.
That number 60 car is holding him off pretty good, though.
But I think it's just a matter of time on that high line, Nick. Brian Holman gets down underneath you, and he's going to keep it down there until he gets by you. And he clears him now, and that's going to put Brian Holman up into to the 6th position and move Ron Miller back into the 7th position, right back into the grasp of Donnie Gates and Gary Moore.
Oh,
and Gary Moore goes around. He hits the inside wall hard. The caution is out.
Caution's out.
Looked like Gary Moore just lost it on exit of that corner there initially, but we'll take a look at the replay and see what happened to Gary.
Looks like the O2 will get one of his laps back. He's now 2 laps down that. Put him closer to getting back on the lead lap, though.
Looks like Gary Moore just gets down there on that apron and tries to get on the gas a little too hard on exit, and that sends him around. Boy, he hit that wall hard.
Yeah, he did. But Andy Lashinsky was starting to work on the leader, Martin Schaefer, a little bit. He dived into his lead a little bit more by another couple of tenths. He had him tracking him down by a good half a second advantage.
The whole field, every lead lap car on the track is going to pit this time. They're all going to get 4 tires. They're going to get 4 tires. They're going to fill it up with fuel. They won't need a whole lot more fuel to finish this race at 54 laps down.
Let's see what the leader does for a pit stop. Is he going to take 2 tires? Is he going to take 4 tires?
Ed Mahalsic stays out. You got to wonder what the strategy is behind that, or if he just missed pit road or whatever, but he stays out as well.
It looks like Mark Schaefer, the right side service is done on his car. The left side's going up, and his pit crew's working on the left side of that car.
We're not going to see too many two-tire stops tonight, are we?
I don't know. It looks like Ron Token Miller just came out of the pits, first one out with 2 tires.
Well, he's going to try the 2-tire strategy. We'll see how Ron fares with that. I would think that for Dr. Feelgoods at this track would be the answer. I mean, it's hot out. It's Phoenix International Raceway. It's flat. There isn't much banking here, so you need all the grip you can get as the O2 of Stephen Moore takes his wave by. That'll put him 1 lap down with Bobby Cannon in the 29.
Yeah, Mark Schaefer might have been in, had an extended pit stop to repair some cosmetic damage to his car. Either that or he got a full tank of fuel to make his ride a little bit looser. And same thing with the 78 car of Andy Lashinsky.
Let's pull Ed Mahalsic down here and see why he stayed out that extra lap.
Okay.
Ed Mahalsic, how's it going tonight, buddy? We noticed you stayed out on that first lap of pit stops. What's the strategy behind that?
You know, I'm running a point still, so I'm trying to get as many points as I can by running up front a little bit there because I'm not real good at this racetrack. So.
How you sitting for fuel right now and tires?
Oh, I'm in now. I'm getting fuel and tires now.
Okay, so you just wanted to stay out and try to lead a lap under caution.
Yeah, it didn't work well, but oh well.
Sometimes it doesn't, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try, Ed. As Ed makes his way back out onto the track, we'll go ahead and let Ed get some racing done. He's got to wait for pit road to open, but we'll let Ed get back out there and get focused. Good luck tonight, buddy.
Thank you.
And right now, as they double up with the lights off on the pace car, you got Ron Token Miller going to be taking him to the green flag here at lap 56.
Followed by hometown boy Corey Valkenot. Right behind him is the 51 of Donnie Gates, and then next to him is the 80 of Mark Schaefer. That's a pretty rough crowd up front, guys. As the pace car pulls off, Ron Miller gets a great jump.
Yeah, great jump, leading the field into one. Corey Valkenot right there behind him.
See if these two tires will stick for Ron and he can hold on to that lead for a little bit. He comes out of the corner. It looks good. He didn't get loose or didn't look like he tightened up at all. So maybe that two tires is all right.
Those two tires are probably doing good here for the first about 2 or 3 laps. And after that, the other two tires he didn't replace are going to start giving up on him. And it's going to put a real toll on those two fresh Dr. Feelgoods.
That number 80 is putting pretty good pressure on the 21 here. See if he can get by him.
80 gets loose. He gets a run, but he gets a little bit loose. But he's still underneath Corey Valkenot. Corey's going to give him that bottom line. He's not going to do anything crazy to get himself out of whack. That might be a good position, you know, if you got a guy charging in on you like that, just to let him go early.
Andy Lashinsky's going to try to follow in the tire tracks of Mark Schaefer, and he completes a pass going down the front stretch, going into one.
Andy Lashinsky's right back on the hunt for Mark Schaefer, right where he left off.
Let's see what Ron Miller's got for him going in for Mark Schaefer going into turn 3 here. Mark Schaefer looks like he's looking low for the low side, trying to hope that Ron Miller floats up a little bit, but no, Mark Schaefer gets a little loose there in the middle of 4, going down the front stretch.
Yeah, Schaefer seemed to get loose there a lot.
Looks like if you look back just a little bit into about the 5th position, Brian Holman moves back into there. He's going to start running with this front crowd.
And here we go. We got a battle for the lead. The 80 cars under the Ron Miller, the number 60 car as they go into turn 1.
Oh, Ron Miller gets way up high into that loose stuff, and he's going to lose a position, maybe 2. It looks like Andy Lashinsky's going to get under there.
Oh, he's up in the wall.
That's going to leave a mark.
I think the 21 of Corey Valkenot kind of followed in Ron Miller's tire tracks and brushed the wall at the same time.
As Mark Schaefer wheels that thing out, he starts to stretch out his lead by a couple car lengths. Ron Miller, he's going to start losing positions with them 2 tires. You had to wonder about that 2-tire call here, but you know, it is early enough to try it. We're halfway through the race right now.
Yeah, he pancaked his right side there pretty well, but it doesn't seem to be affecting him too much.
You know, his sponsor's saying, hey, buddy, don't scratch up my logo, that down valley car.
Yeah, that 21 of the Corey Valkenot machine, he's not liking those fresh Dr. Feelgoods he's got on there. I'm just starting to wonder if he took 2 tires and is regretting that choice on that last pit stop. Brian Holman's moved up into the 5th spot.
You took the words right out of my mouth. He's actually up in the 4th now.
So we got Brian Holman screaming through the field. He wants to get up there and lead some laps. You know, he's got to work on Ron Miller now. Ron's got that little bit of damage, and I think he's only got 2 tires, so he may have to move over and let Brian go.
Yeah. Now the race official had given Bobby Cannon back his lap before he gave Steve Moore it, but Steve Moore is capitalized back on. He's the first one a lap down. If we have a caution here, he'll be getting back on the lead lap.
You know, Brian Holman's got to be thinking to himself, you know, 2nd place in points is leading this race right now, and he's got to get up there and protect his points lead as he moves underneath Ron Miller to complete the pass. Going into turn 3, he's going to get it.
Yeah, Brian Holman's looked real good. He's been real quiet tonight, especially after that spin, but he's making his presence known now as we get through the stretch here, halfway through the race.
Brian Holman starts pulling away from Ron Miller. You know Ron's got to be kind of kicking himself a little bit for them 2 tires, because he may lose enough track position where it didn't really help him any.
Well, you know, you got to gamble somewhere along the line and figure out if it's gonna work for you late race, and it's better find out now than towards the tail end, and you drop points instead of drop positions.
You know, well, we're having a good green run here. Let's give a shout out to the guys over at Glacier TV again, and Phil Diaz for doing an awesome job on these camera crews. I know we're a little hard to keep up with sometimes because we're talking about all different parts of the track and different positions, but Phil does a pretty good job of keeping things clear for us and giving us little hints and pointers throughout the race to keep us on target. We'd like to thank you again, Phil, for stepping up and doing a real good job for us. And let's also give a shout out to the guys from Bob's Motorsports. You know, they made a lot of this possible by stepping up and sponsoring Big Dogs for this whole entire series. And you know, into the next caution break, we'll try to work in a little advertiser for Bob and show the audience everything. You know, a little bit about Bob's Motorsports and there may be some quarter scale guys.
Oh, Corey Valkinen gets a little loose coming in the middle of 3 and 4, moves up the track, but is able to collect it. I do believe Donnie Gates was the major able to move through the field, gain a couple of spots during that.
Oh, they're backing up both into the wall. Steve Moore gets through that somehow. Great hands by that 02 car.
Steve Moore saying, hey guys, if I have to race for my lap back, by God, that's what I'm going to do. He's working his way forward, you know. Being a lap down doesn't mean he's going to back off the throttle. He's actually going to go harder as he slowly starts to pick up positions.
And it looks like his pit crew did some pretty good cosmetic work on that car. Was able to get a lot of that sheet metal bent like it's supposed to be.
Duct tape's a miracle cure for a lot of damage.
Yes, sir, it is. Oh, man, one guy we haven't really been talking too much about, Josh Weaver, the number 12 car. He's moved up into the 6th spot. He's having himself a pretty good run tonight. And that Skull Mint number 12, Brian Holman's design Menards Chevrolet.
Josh Weaver, good guy from Big Dogs here. He's having a great race. His car looks nice and clean. He's got a nice line going, slowly picking up positions. He may be a force before this thing's over.
Yeah, he's got that the Stephen Moore car right behind him. To see if Stephen's going to try to challenge him.
The 21 car of Corey Volkanot's trying to work Donnie Gates for the 4th position. I think he's going to get him here in the next corner.
Somebody else we haven't talked much about tonight is Bobby the rocket ship Cannon. You know, he's back there battling in the 12th position as he works his way around Robert Thompson.
Yeah, we have a good battle for here. Donnie Gates in the number 51 and
Corey Valkenot.
Yep, Corey Valkenot got it.
Looks like
Josh Weaver's trying to work on him.
Oh, we have a car into the wall. And he was into the wall hard. He's slow. That'd be the number 98 of Taylor Dorner. He's already 6 laps down. That can't help his cause any tonight. He's still going. But he tore it up pretty good. Now he's getting loose. Oh, and he hits the inside wall really hard. Oh, back out onto the track. He just about collects a bunch of people, but they get out of the way and go around him, and he's going to have to pit and fix that.
Oh, he's tracking hard. I mean, he's catwalking. Oh, he spins it.
He spins it out.
1 and 2.
Is he going to bring out the caution? No, he's got it straightened out. He's gonna try to work it around to back onto pit road, but let's hope he doesn't get in the way of the leaders. They're coming hard behind him.
Yeah, Dorner's not keeping up speed very well. He might very well get another caution. That 98 car's just been having a lot of troubles tonight.
Like we said, these guys are running a fixed setup, and sometimes, this setup doesn't agree with each driver, and they're going to have a rough night. But, everybody's got the same exact equipment, so they got to do what they can do with it. These setups are all custom built by these Big Dogs members. They run group sessions during the week, and they put these setups together. So, if he wasn't in on any of the setup building sessions, he may not be comfortable with this thing yet. We take another look at Donnie Gates in that 51. He's having a good run up there in the 5th position.
It looks like 4th, 5th, and 6th are pretty much just staying right where they're at, just riding for the time being.
I tell you who's not riding. That's Stephen Moore. He's back there in the 2 car. He's got to work his way around this entire field and get one of his laps back. And I've raced with Steve a lot in the past, and I tell you what, if anybody can get up there and earn a lap back the hard way, that's the guy that can do it.
Yeah, Steve Moore has got a great set of hands. I've watched him race over the last few years, and not only a good driver, but he's a great personality. He's definitely a marketable driver.
I looked through the field and I noticed Gary Moore's also out. Tonight's race admin's parked on pit road. I guess, it's so hot in Phoenix, these guys can't wait to get to that beer tent, so, they're getting in there. A lot of Moores, and none related, I might add. We've got 3 of them on the track, and like I said, none of them are related, all from different parts of the country. As we take a little look back, Buchanan, he's moved up into the 11th position. I expected Bobby to have a little better race tonight in that Netstream Communication 29 car.
Well, as we're working lap 80, I'll tell you right now, Andy Lishitsky is hoping for a caution about as much as Stephen Moore's. Got 30 to go.
30 laps to go. These guys are really laying some laps down tonight. It's been a really good race. They've kept it green. They've come off the wall. They've had a rough night. Some of these guys should be pitting for fuel, I would think, pretty soon. The guys that didn't pit and get fuel earlier.
Yeah, Mark Schaefer was able to put Taylor Dorn another lap down. It looks like Taylor Dorn just ain't let Mark Schaefer out of his sight. I mean, Mark Schaefer ain't able to pull away from him.
We have the O2 car that came down a pit road, I think, for fuel, as Rob was saying there.
Yep, I was thinking some of these guys would be getting low on fuel. Not all of them filled up, and they do have a limited fuel cell in these things tonight. With the full-size fuel cell, they'd probably be able to run the whole entire race without getting gas, but that's not good enough for Big Dogs. That's not enough of a challenge. So these guys, they step it up a notch. They lower the fuel cell load, and they make them race that way. So it does make it a little tougher. As we have the number 98 working on the 80 of Mark Schaefer. He's caught his back bumper. Can he get by him, though?
Yeah, I do believe the 98 of Taylor Dorn does have fresher tires than our leader, and our leader gets a little loose in the middle of 3 and 4 there. I do believe that the gas cell getting a little low there is getting him, and his tires giving up on this long green flag run.
You know Mark Schaefer's got to be thinking, hey, Taylor, you're 9 laps down. Just ride along behind me. But Taylor's saying, no, this race ain't over for me. I'm not settling for 9 laps down. I want one of them laps back, and I want it back now. I don't think he's going to be able to get him, though.
Yeah, that number 80 car, Mark Schaefer, he is sitting in the catbird seat, and boy, he just keeps ticking them off one by one, and he's got a 1.160 second lead over Lashinsky, man. Are we going to have a caution here to tighten this thing up and get some more racing going?
I've been watching Mark Schaefer throughout the race tonight, and it doesn't seem to me like his lap times are dropping off at all. Even when he's getting loose coming out of 4, he's pretty much maintaining the same lap times. But we got Andy Lashinsky and Brian Holman. They're still not giving up. They're 1.5 and 3 seconds back from him, but you know, hopefully they can make up some of that time and give him a little bit of a race. You know, as we're 85 laps into this run of 110 laps.
Position 4 is now being held by Josh Weaver. Josh Weaver was able to capitalize whenever Corey Valken got a little loose in the middle of 1 and 2 at lap 81 and shovel up the track, and Donnie Gates was able to get right by him right after that. So Josh Weaver's having himself a good night sitting in position 4, 12 seconds behind the leader.
And we start seeing cars going laps down that are pitting. You wonder if these leaders aren't going to have to pit. I mean, maybe that's what Andy Lashinsky and Brian Holman are hoping for, is that Mark Schaefer will hit pit road and mess up a little bit, and they can capitalize on it. Because I don't see that they're going to run him down from where they're at now.
It looks like the number 12 car of Josh Weaver's looking to the pits to get some service. And hopefully, let's see what he does. If he's going to take 2 tires, gas only, how's it going to work here in the later stages of this race?
He brings out that Brian Holman design Skull Mint number 12. That's a beautiful looking car by Brian. Just so everybody watching knows, you know, a lot of these cars that you're seeing out here tonight are custom painted by these Big Dogs members. So, you know, if you're a fellow iRacing member and you're looking for a paint job, you know, stop in our team speak, go by our website, www.bigdogsracing.org. We do have a few painters on staff, guys that will work with you. You know, come in and talk to some people, and you might be able to get yourself one of these pretty looking cars too. As the number 98, hits the inside wall hard, and he's riding up on top of the wall. It may be lights out for the 98 car for the night. I don't think he's going to be able to repair that damage. The caution's not going to fly as we see cars mixing back onto the track.
Yeah, Josh Weaver just took himself 4 fresh Dr. Feelgoods and a full tank of that Sunoco racing fuel. So he's scored right now in 8th place, 1 lap down. So it's going to be quite interesting. He's going to have to get around the Bobby Cannon machine to be able to go for it. Him and number 48 are racing for position here. Oh, the 48 gets a little loose coming out of 2.
And he saves it. Good driving by old Mike Taylor. Heads up, buddy. Good job.
Yeah, that was some good driving there. We watched the Josh Weaver machine try to go to the inside of the number 92 of Glenn
Nettershall. Glenn Nettershall.
There you go.
That's a hard last name to say.
Yeah.
Taylor Dorner parks his car. He's got it in the trailer. He's joining everybody else in the beer garden. And we'll be down there to join you guys after the show tonight. So don't drink all that beer up for us. And although I know that guys like Jason Hogan, you know, he probably
the leader is coming down pit road.
Ooh, the leader's on pit road.
Lashinsky takes over the lead in the number 48. Or 78, sorry.
You would think that they wouldn't want to pit too far behind him. He already had a good lead on him, you know, and if he gets those fresh tires and they have to pit later, you would think that they'd start thinking about pitting behind him, or they could lose a lot of time to Mark. Because he slides to a stop on pit road, and we get back out there, and looks like the 78, he's going to pit now. He's following him in. Yep, he took the cue. He's got it slowed down.
80 just took right side tires. Looks like his pit crew's going around getting the left side. And hopefully they can get him out and get him a good pit stop time here. And left side's down. He might be waiting for a little bit of fuel to finish him off to the end of the race here.
Well, they fill these things up with a McDonald's straw, so it takes all day.
Yes, it does. Brian Holman, number 62.
I'm really surprised.
Number 62 of Brian Holman's being scored as the leader going around the track right now. Lap 92 of 110 laps for this evening.
Looks like the 78's also going to get 4 tires. I think these guys saw Ron Miller earlier tonight getting 2 tires, and they weren't liking what they saw there, so I don't think they're going to risk it.
You know, I'm really wondering if Brian's got enough to go to the distance. He was doing a lot of pit. Nope, here he comes down pit road.
Brian Holman going to pull from the lead onto pit road. You know, that's going to give some of these guys that are a lap down a chance to get caught back up. You know, we already see Glenn Nettershall, he gets back on the lead lap.
I wonder if Brian Holman's is thinking of pit strategy and maybe possibly pulling off the 2-tire stop to try to see about keeping a little bit of a lead.
You know, with 15 laps to go, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Well, the right sides go up. We'll see if they come around the left side to give them tires. Yep, no, the left sides go up.
Yeah, he's not going to chance it either. You know, maybe they're not looking down at their laps, or maybe they don't think 15 laps, you know, they can hold that lead that long. As we see Donnie Gates, you know, he pulls onto pit road. Donnie Gates was scored the leader until he hit pit road, so you think Donnie's going to go in and get himself 4 Dr. Feelgoods.
And that resumes the lead to number 47. Oh, he gets into the wall.
47 of Bob Roberts. He hangs on to it, though, but he's going to lose a lot of time on that. As we see Mark Schaefer, he's laying down some blistering laps. He wants that lead back. Currently scored 25 seconds back.
Yeah, Andy Lashinsky is in front of Mark Schaefer right now. So after everybody goes ahead and cycles through the pit stops. Oh, caution's out on the pit.
Probably got a caution.
Ooh, that's going to really stir things up.
We'll see where we are as things get sorted out here.
Looks like the number 48 of Mike Taylor, our fellow broadcast booth member, he may have self-spun on that one.
Bob Roberts comes down pit road anyway. I wonder if he got a black flag for entering a closed pit there.
As we take a look at the replay and find out what happened to Mike Taylor. He's got Corey Valkenot right behind him. I wonder if Corey had a hand in getting him to come around. Nope, he just goes into the corner and just loses it. Corey does a good job of pulling down low, and he's into the wall hard. You know, that's going to put a lot of damage in that 48 car. I don't know if he's going to be able to repair that and get back out on the track. So here we sit, lap 98, Nick. We've got 8 cars currently scored on the lead lap. Mike Taylor's the first car a lap down, followed by Bobby Cannon. But, you know, Mike Taylor won't get a wave by because he brought out that caution.
Yeah, so there won't be no lucky dog on this caution.
We got a bunch of cars that just pitted. That's going to tighten them back up, you know, and those guys that were all stretched out. You know, Andy Lashinsky's got to be thinking, darn it, I finally got in front of Mark Schaefer after chasing him all night long, and you guys are going to bring him right up to my back bumper on this restart.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy restart because we're going to only have about 22 to go, and Lashinsky is going to want to keep that lead he's got.
We're going to have 11 to go, Nick. We have 11 to go right now, so it's going to be a 10-lap shootout.
And it looks like Stever's going to stay out for a wave-by here.
So we're going to be inside 10 to go. Andy Lashinsky is going to be scored as your leader in the 78, followed real closely by Mark Schaefer, who's led most of this lap and dominated it, most of this race, and he's dominated it. followed in third by the number 92 of Glenn Nettischel. In fourth will be the 62 of Brian Holman. And in fifth will be Josh Weaver in the 12 car.
In sixth spot, you're going to have Bob Roberts in the number 47. Number 51 of Donnie Gates. Seventh spot. Number eight on your leaderboard is going to be Corey Vakken in the number 21. Mike Taylor in the 48 follow behind him. And rounding off your top 10 will be the number 29 of the Bobby Cannon Machine, one lap down.
Which is going to probably get the wave by here when we get just before we go green. Be interesting to see where he comes up through.
Well, Nick, I don't think that there's going to be a wave by. I do believe their rules state that if the lucky dog causes a caution, there is no lucky dog, or the lucky dog's unavailable to take it.
These guys have stayed out on the green on this caution. So
they're going to get wave by.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's going to get the wave by because he's ahead of the leaders right now. So the 29 car, there should be 10 cars on the lead lap, and there goes the 29.
1, 2, 3, 4 cars being waved by. 5, 6 cars being waved by.
Oh, this ought to be interesting because you're going to have Stephen Moore, a strong contender in tonight's race so far tonight. He's going to be back on the lead lap. Let's see what he can do in these closing laps of this race to see what kind of a finishing position he's going to have tonight. He's kept it pretty clean in the latter stages of this race.
You know, Brian Holman was the last of these three to pit, and he's going to line up right behind the leader on this start. This is going to be interesting. You got these three here who've been battling each other all night for position, and they're going to come around and take this green flag together. The lights are off on the pace car. The pace car should be pulling off this time. And the pace car's off. And Andy Lashinsky gets a huge jump coming out of the corner.
And the number 62? Yep, the number 62 gets under Mark Schaefer. Let's see if he can keep it going. Schaefer is holding them down there, though.
Yeah, it looks like Brian Holman's not going to give him any room to move around, is he? Brian Holman's fighting for his points position right now. You know, the guy that's right behind him in the points is Mark Schaefer. So, you know, Mark's got every bit of interest to hold him off as long as he can. It doesn't look like that bottom line's going to favor Brian Holman. He ain't going to be able to complete that pass, and Andy Lashinsky's just sitting up there.
Man, they are racing hard.
Yeah, they're door to door coming out of 2. Brian Holman's getting a little bit of an advantage on that low line going through 1 and 2. Oh, they bumped quarter panels down the backstretch. Brian Holman, is he going to pull a slide job in the 4? He does. He gets it. Now they're going down the front stretch.
That's going to move Brian Holman into the second. Ooh, Mark Schaefer's going to do the crossover move on Brian Holman. He gets under him going into the corner. Andy Lashinsky's sitting up there thinking, you guys just keep on fighting. I got to win this thing. So he's giving it all he's got, and he's starting to pull away from him now.
Yeah, he's definitely sitting in the catbird seat. He's loving seeing what he's got going on in his rearview mirror right now as the 80 and the 62 just keep working.
Oh, and they spin each other out. They run out of real estate. And, they're around, both of them. That's the 2 top points guys right there.
Yeah, I think Mark Schaefer got a little loose in the middle of 4 there, came up, lightly tapped Brian in that left rear quarter panel, got him loose, and sent them both into the outside wall.
If you take a look at the replay, see what happens here. It looks like the 80 and the 62 go into the corner, and they're side by side. It looks like the 80 comes up into the 62 of Brian Holman. And they both go around. They're both in the wall. They got damage. It's too late in the race to fix it. The 80 looks like he came out the cleaner of the 2. They're both going to get pit and try. They're going to have approximately a 2 to 3 lap shootout after this. We don't have a green-white checkered with iRacing. It's not an option. So when they cross that stripe for lap 110, even if it's under caution, this race is considered over.
Well, let's watch this race off of pit road as Brian Holman and Mark Schaefer make their pit stops, get some repairs. Let's see if they can get back out there and get back into contention.
Hey.
That's going to move the 12 of Josh Weaver into the second position, followed by the 92 of Glenn Nettershall and the 51 of Donnie Gates, and Brian Holman's going to be scored back in the 5th position unless the scoring loop's going to change as they go back by. But that's your top 3. Now, this race has gotten interesting now. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with a couple laps to go. I mean, these guys are going to get crazy.
Yeah. Corey Nettershall's gonna get the lucky dog under this caution, so he should be able to get the wave by going around the pace car.
It's times like these guys that make you want to strap on your race helmet and buckle yourself in real tight and get out there with them, isn't it?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Man, I'm itching to get out there.
And that's right, I said it. I wear a helmet when I drive, when I'm racing on the internet. I'd hate to get brain damage falling out of my chair, so I do wear my helmet. It is a full-face helmet, and I do wear a tinted shield to keep the lights out of my eyes from the big monitor. But by God, I think I'm not the only one.
Well, it looks like Mark Schaefer is the first to get off of pit road there. I don't think he took any gas or tires or anything. Brian Holman's got 4 fresh tires,
Ooh, that's interesting, but you know they're clear back there in the field. They're gonna start out in what the 7th and 8th position, something like that.
Yeah, they're gonna be starting back in the field. See what Brian
Holman is. He's just scored a lap down now. Oh boy, that's really gonna hurt him in the points. He must not have had any resets and had to repair it, or he got into the pit road late, and they went ahead and went by him. He might have been sitting there getting gas from his McDonald's straw as well as the lights go off on the pace car.
Let's see what Josh Weaver's got for him on this at the drop of the green flag here. I mean, he's been racing smart pretty much all night. That Skoll Menards Chevrolet is doing pretty good tonight.
We still have 13 cars on the track. We started the race with 19 cars, so 6 of them are in the beer tent waiting for us to get there. We don't have to worry much. They all drink a lot of wine coolers, you know, and we'll stick to the beer when we get there.
And the pace car's off. And the leader goes.
Andy Lashinsky gets a killer jump there. You know, he's got 2 laps to go.
Oh, Mark Schaefer in the 80 car gets a little nudge there in the middle of 1 and 2. He's able to save it. Oh, he retaliates on the back straightaway.
We got smoke everywhere back there. Oh, we got it. Looks like the 47 of Bob Roberts is around. That'll end the race tonight. That'll bring home Andy Lashinsky in 1st, Josh Weaver in 2nd, Glenn Nettershall in 3rd. No, Glenn Nettershall in 4th. That'll put Donnie Gates in the 3rd position. That'll end our race tonight, guys. It ends under caution, just like we talked about.
Yeah, I can't wait for iRacing to give us the green-white checkered. You know, it's amazing how long it's taken in iRacing to get with the program here, with them being partnered with NASCAR and all, and they can't get their green right.
Oh, there's some bad blood right now going on between the 62 of Brian Holman and the 80 of Mark Schaefer. They're beating bumpers there in the going around 3 and 4.
Yeah, he's definitely not a happy camper.
It looked like the 21 of Corey Valkenot just come down and got into the door of Bob Roberts, and that's what brought out that caution. And then they just kind of pile in from there. But yeah, it looks like these guys might be taking their helmets off and meeting either in the race trailer or on pit road, wherever the admins can corner them right after this race. There's not a lot of that aggressive driving tolerated here at Big Dogs, and they will be set straight from that. I don't know what Mark Schaefer's doing. He goes ahead and blasts around the field.
I do believe that's going to be it for tonight's race. With Andy Lashinsky being scored as your winner tonight, followed behind number 12 car Josh Weaver, third spot on the podium, Donnie Gates, number 51, number 4 of number 92, Glenn Nettischel. Number 5 tonight, the 80 car Martin Schaefer. He's going to get a few points there on Brian Holman in the points battle.
Yeah, that's going to stir the points up a little bit as we head into Watkins Glen next week for the only road course that these guys run in these late models. And the rumor has it that old Rob Moore is going to be climbing into the Rick Haney Calls number 17 ride for that race. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Let's talk to the leaders along with Brian Holman and Gary Moore, our race admin, and let's find out what's going on there as Andy Lashinsky does his burnouts around some other cars. We'll bring Andy down here, interview the race winner for tonight. Andy Lashinsky, good win tonight, buddy. How you feeling?
Well, I'll tell you what, that was a lot of fun battling with Mark for the entire race. Too bad what happened to him later, and then it was also a lot of fun battling with Brian. But I'll tell you what, I got a little nervous there at the end. I didn't know if I was going to make it or not on fuel. I took a little less so I could come out front, and the yellow looks like it played out for me pretty well. I just want to say thanks to Chris Nairmore at Nairmore Machine Shop. That was a lot of fun today.
Yeah, as you bring that number 78 ride into victory lane, good run for you tonight, man. You spent a lot of your night chasing down Mark Schaefer in that 80 car. It took a caution for you to catch him after pit strategies, but you pulled it off. So good win tonight, Andy. Not taking nothing away from you, bud. You drove a really good race all night long. Good job.
Yeah, thank you. No, Mark was definitely the class of the field for the first part of that race. He was setting the pace for sure.
We'll be looking forward to seeing you compete next week at Watkins Glen. That ought to be an interesting race for you guys. That ought to move you up in the points too, man.
Yeah, I'm excited for next week. I actually love road course racing, so this should be a lot of fun.
As we conclude our interview with Andy Lashinsky, let's talk to the second place car tonight, Josh Weaver. We saw him have a good run. He brought it home in second. You know, Josh had some rough moments, but he saved his race. He stuck out there and he stayed strong. Josh Weaver, this is Rob Moore in the broadcast booth. Good race tonight, buddy. How you feeling?
Thanks, Rob. I'm doing really well. That was a fun race for sure. Tried to keep my nose clean and just kind of tried to work my way through the pack when I could.
Good finish tonight, man. Look forward to seeing you next week at Watkins Glen. That ought to be a good boost in the points run for you as we conclude week 5 here at Phoenix International Raceway. Good run tonight, bud. What was your strategy most of the night? How was your tires? I didn't see a lot of two-tire stops.
You know, I tried not to abuse them early, and when we got into the long green flag runs, it paid off. I started running some guys down, it seemed, and tried not to abuse them all night long, and they lasted a little better. It was rough.
Well, good finish tonight, man. That's the way to hang in there and drive that Brian Holman Designs number 12 car up to the front field and keep it there when it counted, man.
Thank you very much.
As we bring in Donnie Gates, our third place finisher tonight out of nowhere. Donnie Gates brought home a third place finish in that number 51 Chevrolet tonight. Good job, buddy.
Thanks, guys. It was a fun race.
Thank God there was those cautions at the end. It kind of saved a couple of you guys and gave you a good finish, and that'll be a nice boost for you in the points, man. What's your thoughts going into Watkins Glen next week?
I'm not good turning right, so I just hope to stay out of trouble like I did this week and then move up at the end.
Well, good job, man. As we bring down tonight's race admin, along with Brian Holman, who seemed to have a difficult moment there, I think we'll interview Mark Schaefer just shortly. If he's still even here, he might have got upset and left. But we'll bring down Brian Holman and find out exactly what happened with him tonight. It seems like Brian Holman's down here. Brian, you had a good run tonight, man. You had a really good run going on. You chased those leaders down from the back. You had a really good pit strategy going on. What happened late in the race there? It looked like you and Mark Schaefer kind of got tangled up, and it escalated from there.
I don't know. I raced him clean, got up underneath him, run him clean. He wants to run down on me, and then, he gets run up under me. So, for 3 laps, he's running into me. So, I guess he finally finished it off. But whatever.
Well, good race tonight, Brian. Good, strong race tonight. You're really strong at Watkins Glen. So hopefully you can gain back that momentum you lost tonight, and hopefully we can get things worked out between you and Mark Schaefer. I believe he's left the building. He's already up in the beer stand drinking his wine cooler. So
maybe he'll stay up there. Whatever. Appreciate it.
And you heard it here from Brian Holman. As he leaves the building, and he's headed down to the beer stand. Gary Moore, how'd the race go tonight, man? We seen you pull out early, but you stuck in there and finished admin in the race. How was it tonight?
Well, I thought it was a pretty good race. Very few cautions, a green flag pit stop, first of the year. Personally, I lost it and hit the inside wall and had a big 6-minute tow. So we're looking forward to Watkins Glen next week. And again, thank you, Glacier TV.
Well, good running tonight, guys. Rough finish for you tonight, Gary. It looks as though we got a little bit of a confrontation that you might have to deal with tonight. I don't know if you're going to pull both those guys into the race trailer or go have them have a beer with each other somewhere.
I'll have to talk to both of them because I didn't see what happened. So we'll have to look at the replay and go from there.
We'd like to thank everybody for coming in tonight and joining us at Big Dogs Racing. Special shout out to Nick Giles and Mark Figueroa, along with Phil Diaz. We had a good time in the booth tonight. We're still new at this, but we're having a lot of fun. We haven't quite determined if Rob Moore is going to step into the number 17 ride next week at Watkins Glen, but that is a possibility. We have heard from Rick Haney calls. He wants to see his car out there on the track.
Ought to be interesting that that unknown driver of Rob Moore can actually take it to the road course next week in that number 17.
And, like I said, we're all new at this. We talk over each other once in a while, and it's not intentional, but we're getting better, guys, and we'll keep working on it, and hopefully everybody enjoyed the show. But other than that, we'd like to thank Glacier TV again, and Phil Diaz, and thank you all for watching. The replay will be available on the Big Dogs Racing Facebook, along with the Big Dogs Racing website. So go there and check it out. You'll be able to watch the full replay of tonight's race. Thank you all, and have a good night.